My gripe isn't with the combine. My gripe is with laziness. I feel a lot of these GMs, a lot of these NFL scouts have used the combine to supersede doing their job and going to games and watching game film. But I've talked about this, so I don't feel like I need to talk about it again, or I don't feel like I should go in depth again. What I do want to talk about, however, seeing as though we are in combine season, the combine started, I think, a couple days ago. And it's always interesting seeing the 40-yard dash, seeing the people doing the bench presses. And I get it. I think, and ironically enough, I think that people are starting to understand kind of where I'm about to go. Hey, shout out to you, the dude on YouTube that told me to, he told me to wrap it up, you know. Apparently I prolong a lot of my takes, so shouts out to you, bro. The combine, in my opinion, is more important for the players that don't go to big schools. Or let me say this: I think not every, but most PWIs, especially the ones that go that are, you know, in the Big 12 or well, not really Pac-12, but Big 10, or, you know, I think all those schools are big. But the lesser known football schools, or because basketball has a combine too, basketball schools, like we know who Abdul Carter is, projected number 1 overall pick, maybe should go number 1. I know that he came out with a foot injury, but a lot of the medical people that cover the NFL are saying that it's not going to be major if he gets surgery now, or it's really a pain tolerance thing unless it gets worse. So I don't think that's going to drastically affect his stock. I am interested to see, and I haven't really talked about it. I haven't talked about the NFL draft that much because we still have some ways to go. I was going to talk about it a little closer to the date. But I am very interested to see what the Titans do. Because in the foreseeable future, I don't see the draft that's going to have a life-changing, team-changing quarterback. And you can argue if Cam Ward and Shedeur Stevens is that. But I do know that Cam Ward and Shedeur Stevens are leaps and bounds better than the rest of the quarterback pool in this draft and the quarterback drafts in the foreseeable future. So do you pass on that? Do you pass on them to go with an Abdul Carter, even though your defense isn't that terrible, but you could say that he is a once-in-a-generational defender, kind of like how Michael Parsons, which ironically they went to the same school and played the same position. You know, it's interesting. But back to the combine. Again, I feel like this episode is going to be me, I'm not going to say going back on takes, but clearing some things up. The combine is important for the smaller, the like, for instance, shouts out to Jordan Phillips, football player, defensive tackle from Maryland. I'm sure that there's more tape. I'm sure that people are going to look at a defensive tackle maybe from Alabama, maybe from, Penn State, before they'll look at Jordan Phillips. So you have a Jordan Phillips go to the draft or combine and has a great showing. That helps his draft stock. I understand the importance of the combine. Please do not hear me. Again, my issue isn't with the combine. My issue is just with the GMs that making the combine the law. And I don't know, man. But I do want to say shout out to everyone that is participating in the combine, James Pierce Jr. from Tennessee, I think he had a great combine. You know, these are the Ed Rushers. Landon Jackson from Arkansas. I don't know what it is about Arkansas. I'm not gonna say that. Shouts out to everyone, man. Look, I understand the importance. I can't reiterate that enough. I understand the importance. This is pretty much outside of team meetings and one-on-ones with these players. This is essentially the last time a lot of these players is going to have the ability to show what they can do to get to the next level. And I get it. I still don't understand why some positions do. Like, why are linebackers why are linebackers and defensive ends doing the 40-yard dash? Like, why does it matter how fast they are? Like, they're not gonna run enough. I get why the wide receivers would do it, or the running backs, or maybe even the quarterbacks. But why are the offensive linemen doing 40-yard dashes? It just doesn't make sense to me. And on the contrary, why are wide receivers doing the bench, like, or required to? It doesn't. I don't know. That's a little weird. But I do want to say, shouts out to everybody that's participating in the combine, and shouts out to everyone that is in the position to not have to participate in the combine. That's the thing for me. I think it's you. There's a lot of people that have played themselves into positions where they don't need the combine, and it's okay. I'm not saying that if you have to use the combine that you're worse off. I'm just saying the combine, in my opinion, should be. It's kind of like a senior day, or like the Senior Bowl. The combine shouldn't be law. It should be, this is a step for people that need it. This is for people that maybe are on the fringe, or maybe hasn't gone to those big major schools, or hasn't had a lot of coverage throughout the season. The combine should be for you. Then the other people, like a Abdul Carter, like a Cam Ward, like a Shedeur Stevens, may not need to go to the combine. So I get it. Another thing I want to talk about, and this is still kind of in the combine realm, but I want to focus on Travis Hunter for a second. And I find the coverage and the scouting report about Travis Hunter to be fascinating. So, for people that don't know about Travis Hunter, he went to Colorado, won the Heisman. He mainly won the Heisman excelling at two positions, excelling at the wide receiver and the corner back position. He played both sides of the ball majority of the season. And he is a really good football player. So good that he's probably going to go in the top 5. I'd be shocked if we make it to 6 or 7 and he's still on the board. And that's the fascinating part about this whole thing. The allure about Travis Hunter is he is able to play both sides of the ball. You can put him at corner. You can put him at wide receiver. Wherever you put him, he's good at that position. But here's where the fascination comes from. And I understand what this is going to sound like. Let me preface this by saying that this is going to sound like hate. It is not. I love everything about Travis Hunter. I think Travis Hunter is an incredible story. I think Travis Hunter is an incredible football player, and I hope that he makes millions upon millions upon millions of dollars in the NFL based off his talent. Great kid. I think he's great. But the allure of Travis Hunter is he's so good that he can play both sides of the ball. He's a really good wide receiver. He's a really good cornerback. And if you're drafting him high, you're drafting him because you have a player that is a legit dual threat player. And I don't mean dual threat like the quarterback position, throw the ball and pass. No, I mean a legit dual threat that you can play offense and defense. I don't think we've ever seen, if I'm wrong, I'm sure somebody will leave it in the comments, but I don't think we've ever seen a legit dual threat player. I think Deion Sanders might have been that one. But even in I know he could have played wide receiver, and he may have played a couple snaps, but his primary position was on the defensive side of the ball. So when I say it's fascinating, it's like, and again, I know this part is going to sound like hate, so I'm not hating. I promise you I'm not. There are huge concerns. Not huge concerns. Let me back up. When you're hearing people evaluate Travis Hunter, what you mainly hear is he either, not combined, but is he either going to play wide receiver or corner? And here's the part that's going to sound like hate. Again, it's not, I'm just being honest about my opinion. If you're looking at Travis Hunter as a one position player, then I don't believe he should go or I don't think his skill set as a one position player deems him to go as high as people project him to go. I think that he's an incredible wide receiver. But there are other wide receivers, just wide receivers, that are better than Travis Hunter. I think he's an incredible cornerback. But if we're just looking at him in the cornerback realm, there are many cornerbacks in college football that were better than him. Again, the allure for Travis Hunter is he can play both at a high level. So I'm fascinated to see how this goes because you're not hearing many players. Travis Hunter came out. I'll say it like this. Travis Hunter came out during the combine and said, essentially, I won the Heisman, meaning I proved to the NFL that I can excel at playing two positions. The question around it is, can he do it? Because we've never really seen it before. And you're seeing a lot of teams, and you're hearing a lot of teams come back and say, which position will we play him at? Instead of, we will play him at both positions. I'm not saying you have to play him the entire game. You can sit him out a couple plays, but again, the man won a Heisman because he excelled at two positions, not because he was extremely dominant at one. So I am just not confused. I will be confused if he's drafted high, drafted in the top 5, but he's solely going to be used on one side of the ball. Because in that case, I think that there are many players better than him. Not many. There are players better than him as a one position player. There's obviously no players in this draft better than him at two positions. So if you're a team, why would you draft him if you don't utilize him to the best of his ability, which is two positions? And when you're hearing the reports come back, you're hearing the scouts, he clearly felt like he had to make that statement because there are teams, and most NFL teams are looking at him as what position, not positions, what position are we going to use him as? So I think situations like that is why I do like the combine. The combine, especially for players like Travis Hunter, you don't need to prove anything else. You don't need to prove anything else. You just need, I think it's a good platform that allows you to use your voice. Because what is a 40-yard dash going to do with Travis Hunter? You gonna go from 5 to 4? Like, what are we doing? Now, yes, I understand that not every player in the combine clearly is Travis Hunter or Abdul Carter or Cam Ward or Shedeur Stevens. I get that. But for the players like that, I think the combine is a great, just to get your, if there's any questions, you get to answer them. And one of the questions is, and I think, honestly, why I love Travis Hunter, and I love Travis Hunter with Deion Sanders. I think if Travis Hunter would have went to any other school, I think if he was paired with any other coach, you wouldn't get this level. You wouldn't get this Travis Hunter. I think you'd get a Travis Hunter that would accept a team drafting him just to play at one position. He said that, and he made that loud and clear. I wanted Heisman playing the way that I play, meaning I don't want to go to your team if you're not going to allow me to play both sides of the ball. And for anyone that has concerns about me playing both sides of the ball, I refer you to my Heisman. Now, yes, nobody is saying that the NFL and college football is on the same level of skill. I am very interested to see how Travis Hunter deals with NFL speed when we talk about wide receivers, when we talk about corners, if he's going to play, or when he plays the wide receiver position. But I love what he said. I love it. And I'm very interested to see who drafts him, and are they going to draft him and let him play both sides of the ball? Because he has been very clear. It's kind of like Lamar Jackson to a certain extent. People didn't trust, even with a Heisman and even with a groundbreaking seasons he had in Louisville, people didn't trust that Lamar Jackson was talented enough to play the quarterback position in the NFL, which is why during the combine, most scouts, most GMs wanted him to play wide receiver. But shouts out to Lamar and his family to say, no, don't draft me if you expect me to play wide receiver. Like, imagine if Lamar Jackson would have played wide receiver, we wouldn't have got what we got today. To a lesser extent, I'm fine. I see the same. I see parallels in the way that they're covered between Lamar Jackson and Travis Hunter. Travis Hunter has made it extremely clear that I expect and I would like to play both sides of the ball when I come to the NFL. So don't draft me if you're only expecting me to play one side. To me, that is the confidence. Not only is built because of his play, but is built because you're with one of the most confident human beings I think the world has ever produced, and that is Deion Sanders. So I'm interested, man. I'm rooting for Travis Hunter to be able to shine. And he feels the best way for him to shine is obviously playing both sides of the ball. So I hope that a team doesn't get in his way of growth and allows him to play both sides of the ball. Oh, man, you stayed to the end of the video. I appreciate you. If you like what you saw, be sure to hit that subscribe button so you'll never miss any content from your boy. You can also go back and watch past episodes, past clips, and don't forget that the Unpopular Podcast, new episodes drop every Wednesday and Saturday. Appreciate you.